For centuries, the Erythian Concord had been the unchallenged rulers of the spiral arm. Their fleets, sleek and lethal, moved like shadows across star systems. An entire species bent to their will. Civilizations were extinguished with precision, and the Concord's scientists were lauded as masters of the cosmos. Nothing challenged them until humanity emerged. Initial contact had been mundane. Humans broadcasted signals, mapped the Concord's periphery, and expanded into space at a pace that was fast, but not alarming. The Erythians dismissed it as curiosity, a minor inconvenience at best. Primitive species, declared high scientist Vok. They may develop engines and weapons, but they cannot possibly grasp the scale of our knowledge. They are harmless. The first expedition fleet, 1,000 ships strong, arrived in orbit around a minor human colony. Humans did not run. They did not plead. Instead, they acknowledged the fleet. One word. Acknowledged. The Erythians laughed. Such arrogance, said Admiral Litha. A race so small, so weak, and yet they think to understand our science. When the fleet descended, they were met with resistance, but nothing conventional. There were no missiles, no overwhelming armaments, yet their ships were disrupted. Communications systems stuttered. Sensors flickered, engines misfired. The Erythian scientists assumed this was interference, easily remedied, until the first warship vanished, not blown apart, not engulfed in plasma, simply gone. Alarm spread through the fleet. Tactical readings could not account for the disappearance. The human colony transmitted nothing but a repeated acknowledgement. Confusion turned to fear as more ships vanished. Systems shut down. Weaponry became inert. Nothing the Erythians deployed had any effect. Admiral Litha watched as the fleet, the pride of the Concord, began to unravel. 10, then 20, then 50 ships vanished in succession. Each erasure left no debris, no energy signature, no trace. It was as if the void itself had swallowed them. The remaining vessels quivered under a terror they could not articulate. From the surface, the humans did not move. There were no fleets, no colossal weapons, only a single ship, sleek and unassuming, that had emerged from behind the gas giant. Its hull glimmered faintly, reflecting starlight. It moved with an unnatural precision, its trajectory unaltered by the fleet's defensive maneuvers. The first human vessel was the instrument of erasure. As it passed, ships blinked out of existence. The space itself seemed to ripple around it, the fabric of reality bending as though obeying some hidden law. Sensors failed, comms failed. Entire star systems seemed to shudder under its presence. Varkel's voice trembled in the command chamber. This is not science as we understand it. These humans, they are not using energy, they are not using matter, they rewrite existence itself. Admiral Litha's claws gripped the armrests. Impossible, he growled. Our fleets are perfected, calibrated to the finest detail. No species, no anomaly can bypass Concordian engineering. Explain it. There is nothing to explain with conventional knowledge, replied Varkel. Our equations, our understanding of physics, they are meaningless here. The humans are not bound by the same laws. The remainder of the fleet tried to retreat, but it was too late. Ships blinked out mid-jump, engines exploding into silence, their crews obliterated without a trace. For every second they remained, another vessel vanished. In less than an hour, hundreds of ships were gone. The Concord, the mighty empire that had conquered countless stars, was reduced to chaos. A final transmission arrived from the human vessel. One word. Acknowledged. Panic spread across the Erythian homeworld. Generals argued for vengeance. Scientists scrambled for explanations, and the Council of the Concord convened in crisis. For the first time, they were powerless, humbled before a species they had mocked for centuries. The humans never fired a weapon. They never boarded, attacked, or even landed. Yet an entire fleet had vanished. Reality itself had obeyed their presence. Across the galaxy, the whispers began. Humans were no mere species. They were a force the universe respected instinctively. An apex not measured in numbers or technology, but in their very existence. Attempts to observe, infiltrate, or provoke humanity were met with identical outcomes. Fleets, scouts, even cloaked observers vanished. The Concord learned quickly. To mock human science was to invite erasure. They had underestimated not just a species, but the fundamental nature of their existence. Generations passed. The Concord no longer ventured into human space. Borders became defensive walls. Fleets patrolled cautiously, and the once boastful empire shrank into itself. Their scientists studied ancient theories of reality manipulation, but none could match what they had witnessed. Humanity remained quiet, unaware of the fear they had inspired, and yet the warning was clear. Across the stars, any who sought to challenge or demean humanity knew the consequences, not through force, not through technology, but through the simple truth of human existence. The void itself obeyed them in every Erythian system, every starship, every historian and tactician. The lesson endured. Science could be measured, tested, and quantified, but human science could not be contained. To mock humans was to court annihilation. To ignore them was to flirt with oblivion. And so the Concord endured, silent, vigilant, and wary. They were no longer conquerors. They were survivors, humbled by a species that had done nothing more than existed in doing so, had rewritten the rules of reality.